Good day and welcome back to another World of Warcraft video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at basically the crafting for Season 2 of the War Within. Unfortunately, I wish I had better news for crafting and crafters in general, but yeah, let's take a look at the changes and a guide on what you can do with crafting in Season 2. So I'm going to start with two of the better points of Season 2. So obviously with a new faction, a new renowned faction in the Undermine, if you come to Smack's top skimmer in the Intercontinental Hotel, speak to him, you can purchase a couple new contracts. So you can get contracts for the Cartels of Undermine, you can get a new Vantis rune, obviously for the new raid, you can pick up a charged armor kit, which is great, you can pick up some new schematics for 22 H-Slicks. These are special wheels that engineers can make for the drive function. On top of that as well, you can also grab knowledge. So once you get to Renown 16, you can pick up some knowledge for your specialization, which is all pretty good, but that's kind of it for new stuff really. Another huge change, which is a good change, is the ability to now reset your knowledge for your specialization. So if you come to the crafting consortium, so just outside the crafting consortium, you'll see Darla Fluxy, this consortium knowledge master. Speak to her and she will let you reset your spec. When you see here, you will lose all associated recipes and be able to reallocate your knowledge as you see fit. So this allows you now to tread the path you've done with your specialization. It won't let you undo your specialization and transfer the knowledge to another specialization, to another crafting spec, but it will let you, for example, if you did weaponry with your blacksmith, you could now change it and move to armory. So it's just a great way to adjust maybe your path. Maybe you didn't want to do, or you realized halfway, damn, I don't want to do this. Now you can do this. It can only be done once, but it's still pretty cool and it's a good change. There's also one of these vendors in Dragonflight, which is great. The last and possibly biggest change for crafters in Season 2 is that Enchanted Crests are now available for purchase. So this is a good change overall for the community. I know enchanters are probably crying out in their sleep for this because this was a huge moneymaker for them. But now players can buy Enchanted Crests directly. This is huge because it's actually going to make orders for the market, hopefully, much more expanded. Don't know how much of an impact it will make, but the importance is that the more access players have to Enchanted Crests, the easier it is to get Enchanted Crests, the more crafting orders players are going to place, because now they actually have an incentive, the ability to plan on making stronger items. Speaking of that, obviously, with a new crest comes a new spark. Season 2 features the Spark of Fortune, which players can obviously create and use to then craft some really good gear. You can also use it to recraft your gear. So if you had gear that had really good embellishments and you wish to recraft it, you can obviously recraft using your lovely bonus sparks. The big issue with this season is that it still seems like they haven't addressed two major problems that players will face with crafting. The first is catch up of knowledge. So knowledge being huge, the catching up of knowledge is very difficult for a lot of players. And then secondly, the other big one is Artisan's Acuity. Artisan's Acuity is a special currency that is used for everything for crafting. Although Enchanted Crest will bring more craft orders, I don't know if it's enough to enable players to actively fulfill tons of them to be able to create enough Artisan's Acuity. So they haven't really addressed this. In fact, they haven't made any changes there at all. So it's a little bit of a shame. So that's that for crafting. Unfortunately, they decided mainly to focus on the changing with the crests and also obviously the ability to now respec your knowledge. Most players will be using even the new recipes, resources that currently exist. The Undermine does not bring with it any new resources. It does bring one or two ways or new nodes that you can maybe farm, but it's not bringing with it a ton of new resources. So yeah, delves do seem to be a really great way to pick up additional resources. So one thing they've changed with delves, for players who don't know, they've added in what's called a nemesis cache, and this cache can potentially contain quite a few rare resources. I myself, just from these caches alone, have picked up a lot of profane tinderboxes. I've picked up a lot of rare mats, and I think that overall is something that's nice. So there is a little bit more resources floating out there, but it's nothing too crazy. There hasn't been a major change on that aspect. So yeah, that wraps it up for Season 2. Pretty much everything you knew from Season 1 still applies. The only thing will be recrafting your gear, which for most veteran players isn't something that's too difficult. You just have to wait until you can manufacture enough sparks. The big change is re-speccing, and obviously a little bit of a change around that to potentially help you out. But overall, I think they didn't do too much with crafting. Maybe they're planning a bigger update down the line. I hope so. But at this point, crafting didn't really get a lot of look in. So yeah, that's it from me. Obviously, guys, if you're looking to craft, go and respec your gear. It's always worth it. But otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.